today I want to chat a little bit about what I have learned as a first year putting green pursuer. So July 1st, this project started. It went from the existing lawn around me. Nothing done, I didn't kill anything off. Just scalped it down with the Honda, and then at the time I was cutting with the Great States at a 1/2 inch. And I have just managed that. So I had some issues where I was spot spraying broadleaf weeds, and that mix had tenacity and fusilade in it. So this is an existing bent grass stand of turf, and then I killed those little areas off and seeded with just like an Amazon bent grass seed that I got for like 15 bucks or something. And I've just been managing as best I can. It's at about 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch. It's still pretty thin. It looks good when you look across it, but it's still, you know, reasonably thin. And a lot of that is because I've top dressed this 4 times this year to try to get an existing part of my yard that's never been flattened, never been smoothed, to a place where I can run a reel mower over it at, you know, the height of cut that I'm trying to keep it at. And it's rolling pretty good. When I wrap this video up, I'll roll a ball down the hill and then back up the hill, so you can see how it's rolling right now. This is about as good as it's looked. And it's probably about the end of the season for this putting green here. It's mid to late October, and that kind of just is what it is. So kind of a couple things I want to talk about is you're going to need to be patient with something like this. It's not going to come in, you know, especially scalping down existing turf, it's not going to come in and look great quickly. You know, this is 3 months later. I finally have something that's pretty smooth where I'm not scalping anywhere, and it's still pretty thin. I'm hopeful that next year it'll start to look good, and you can subscribe to the channel and follow along with that journey. Also next year I'm going to do like a real how-to on, you know, what are the bare minimum things that you need to do something like this, mower, rakes, etc., and kind of really get into it. But I just wanted to kind of review the season I had here in the putting green. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. You know, really it's just a matter of treating it well and fertilizing it and mowing it every day or two. Getting some sand, I got $50 worth of sand, and that's been helping me and got me through what I needed to do. That's a lie. I did get another like $60 worth of play sand. So $100 worth of sand. A landscape rake if you don't already have one of those for, you know, 50 bucks. And some sort of reel that has more than 5 or 7 blades. I got that 10 blade McLean on Facebook Marketplace. I've seen a couple of them. I got mine for 150 bucks. I've seen a couple listed for $200. That'll do you just fine for this kind of early stage. Now you're not going to have a golf course putting green at what the height it's going to be able to cut at. But really, I mean, beyond, it takes me about like 3 minutes to cut this once. And you can see the footage at the beginning of this video was me raking off the worm castings, double cutting and double rolling, and that whole video clip is 15 minutes. So if you can spare 5 to 15 minutes, depending on the day, to just come out here and knock out a cut or whatever, it's not as hard as maybe some people make it out to be to have a natural grass putting green in your backyard. But you do have to be willing to do that. You do have to be willing to put in that, you know, 5 to 10 to 15 minutes every so often. And then once in a while for an hour, you come out and spread some sand around. I've done that with my kids more often than not because they really like playing in the sand. So it works out pretty well that way. But $30 lawn roller I got on Facebook Marketplace, a $50 landscape rake that I didn't actually pay for because it's my father-in-law's, a McLean manual reel mower for 150 bucks, and about $100 worth of sand, $15 worth of grass seed. Hopefully I'm putting the math up on the screen here as I go along. And that's it for what I've spent on this. Beyond that, it's just been getting predominantly my normal maintenance schedule back here. I have put down some additional fertilizer applications at very low rates to try to continue to help it grow through various top dresses and spread and do that as quickly as it can. But if we look at where this was in July 1st when I scalped it to the section of turf that I'm standing in now, it is honestly remarkable what it did in a short period of time for not a ton of money and not a ton of effort. So if you are a golfer, an avid golfer, this is an awesome option for you. If you are somebody who plays golf casually, I'd say this is still kind of fun. And if you're a crossover between lawn care enthusiast and golfer, it's a great little project to try in your backyard. So I would highly recommend it. Like I said, next spring I'm going to do all the equipment, what you're going to need to think about, what you need at minimum, what you can get away with, what things would be nice to have, and hopefully go through that process in the spring and kind of get a true like how to have a putting green. This is just going to be kind of my year in review here, like I've been talking about. You've already watched me cut the putting green and roll it. I also cut the fringe, and I'll do a little pan across here, and like I said, roll a couple putts, and we'll wrap up the putting green for 2020. Hop there off the putter face, but it rolls really true, which I think is probably the most surprising thing for me. There's a lot of break in this too. Quick downhill. Quick look at the fringe chipping areas. Those are triple cut yesterday. Looking nice. Last little pan across the putting green. And like you saw, it rolls really, really well. Again, for a 3-month-old putting green that I've managed in my own backyard with no experience doing anything like this on existing turf that was already here in my backyard. So this is absolutely something you can do and something you should consider. And like I said, I'll have some content next spring around what you need to do in order to be able to do this in your own backyard. So again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Little something to tack onto the end. My neighbor's trees just every year look amazing. And I just also wrapped, oh, what's up, friend? Just wrapped up the 4th leaf removal for the year. So I'm gonna try to keep doing that as often as possible so it doesn't take hours to cut this little area back here.